Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak. Good afternoon. We recovered from our rainy afternoon yesterday with a sloppy track and a good turf, with a fast main track and a firm turf course. And guess what, Katie? They nailed the Rainbow Six. Not only did they nail it, we had 7 tickets alive, and they were all the contenders. So somebody brought home $164,000. So we're starting anew today. Races 4 through 9. Let's see how much we can build it up. $164,000. And we got some news we want to tell them about.
Yeah, we're going to have a new post time starting next week on Thursday, July 23rd. We're going to be starting things just a tad bit later. 1:15 p.m. will be the first post, so adjust your clocks accordingly. We're going to be in accordance with tracks going on across the country, so you don't miss any of the action in our simulcast rooms, and just another part of summer.
Yeah, you know, it's Saratoga's opening up, which is always an exciting time. So not only do we have the great racing here, you can bet Saratoga, of course, Del Mar in the afternoon. So it's just a great time to be a horse racing fan, and certainly a horse racing bettor at this time of year. So that's starting next Thursday, 1:15 p.m. through September. You know, when I don't know when they'll change it back, but as of now, mark that down, 1:15 p.m. Now let's take a look what's tweeting around the country, and we're going to start it off. The first one is actually going to tell you about our championship meet.
Yeah, we announced this week that opening day for the championship meet this year is going to be December 5th, and once again we're going to have the Claiming Crown, $1.1 million, recognizing the hardest knocking, most dependable runners that we have in horse racing. Always a fun day. Actually, going to have a new addition to the Claiming Crown this year. Going to be adding a race, and of course be highlighted by the Claiming Crown Jewel. We're going to announce the rest of the championship meet stakes schedule in the next month to 2 months, but that's what you have to look forward to on opening day.
And that is a lot of fun, you know, coming back. We ship over from Gulfstream Park West. We got a few days off, and we come right back, strong as can be, with the Claiming Crown. The other one we want to look at, I watched this show, Katie, and I didn't see him dressed like that at the ESPYs.
He had a wardrobe change in the middle of the ESPYs. What a great shot. Take a look at this from Good Morning America at the ESPYs. Victor Espinoza, he was in his silks for part of the ESPYs there, and he did take home the ESPY for Best Jockey. You see Bob Baffert there in the background, owner Ahmed Zayat off to the right there in that row. Just another fun part of the ESPYs, and great to see horse racing showcased in an awards ceremony that recognizes all sports.
Yeah, I mean, it was so much fun, and did not win the best. Bowman got beat out by LeBron James.
It was a rip-off.
Yeah,
LeBron James didn't even... Now, LeBron James is the best basketball player in the world. There's no question. But he didn't win the championship, and he wins best championship performance. Explain that to me,
You don't
Ron.
happen to be from Cleveland, are you?
I am not from Cleveland.
All right, let's get to Friday's card today. This one, first race, as I mentioned, we got that firm turf, fast main track. Oh, we got one more. I forgot almost that. We got the
And you can't forget this.
No.
What a success this is looking to be so far. We're having 2-year-old races being written where you cannot run with Lasix. It's a new addition to our summer race meet here, and the first races that are written this way are happening tomorrow on Saturday, and they were so popular that they had to split it into 2 divisions. We're going to have 2 tomorrow and 2 for the boys
on Sunday, too.
Sunday. So what an exciting time.
Yeah, and they'll be running without Lasix. 2-year-olds. An edict from our big boss, Mr. Stronach, wants to see if we can get these 2-year-olds to run without the addition of Lasix, and really nice purses, $65,000, so lots of fun. They were hiding in the woodwork for these. They came out. Boy, do we have full fields tomorrow, but that is tomorrow. Now we can get to Friday's card. I skipped the most important one. That's a lot of fun tomorrow. Those races running Lasix free, and they're full fields, which is always a great betting option. First race on Friday, once again, 5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $25,000. Scratch the main track only. Number 8, Amen, I think it's pronounced. And we both have the number 2 in here, Rising Creek.
This one going to debut from the Wesley Ward barn. We've talked about it over and over again, how great he does debuting horses in maiden claimers. This is a son of Macho Uno. 9 published works on record, including a couple really strong 4-furlong breezes. He's been timed in 48 and change. That's a pretty nice time for this level of competition.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to run well there. Gelded son of Macho Uno, as you mentioned. Number 6, Philo CDs, we both have in second. He's turning back today to this 5-furlong distance after stalking the pace a week late. That was a pair of $20,000 maiden says, going a mile on the turf. Kathleen O'Connell, Eddie Nunez, Perez in the saddle. Classic turn back move, going around 2 turns, shorten it up to 5/8. See if you can get it done and beat the horse that hasn't really got a chance to run yet. So if anybody's going to beat it, it looks like it might be the 6.5. Who'd you put in third?
I took Dr. J. Dub, taking a big class drop today. This will be the first time he's run for a tag of any kind. He's been running exclusively in maiden special weights for trainer Carlo Vaccarezza. This is going to be his turf debut. We'll see how he handles the new surface in his second start back from a 2-month freshening. Who did you use?
I used the 4 Fox Chase. Claiming tag sliced right in half first start. Broke last time out. If you look at that race, broke from post 13, went up, stalked the pace, flattened out in that race to finish 9th, but it was against $50,000 maidens going a mile. I think this is a perfect spot for this horse. Got parked out there wide, I think, to turn back and stuff, but they're going to have to run to always beat our man, Wesley Ward. Race 2 is on the fast main track, 5.5 furlongs. These are maiden claimers. They're 3-year-olds and upward, and they're running for a claiming tag of $10,000. 7 runners would go to the post, and we both have the number 1, Mi Patron, on top.
We've got it laid out for you here in the second race. Complete agreement. Mi Patron is from the Louis Duco barn. He's hit the board in 4 straight starts, including 2 at this distance. Last time out, dueled on the rail, was second best, but I think he finds himself in a great spot today.
Yeah, you know, the number 2 voter turnout, who's actually the morning line favorite, who both Katie and I have in second, is a pretty intriguing possibility. He's plummeting way down to the $10,000 level. First start, he finished the distant third, but it was against $40,000 maidens, going 6 furlongs. It was in the slop. It was up at Belmont, but it was last October. So, I mean, it's taken a drop, but, you know, it's just been such a long relay of the trainers, Jenna Antonucci, Edgar Zayas. This is $175,000 son of Smoke Larkin. He's in for a dime.
He is, and again, you mentioned coming back from that long layoff. So too is the 4 Fugazi Boy. Hasn't raced in 8 months from the Terry Pompey barn. Another would take many changes today. First time as a gelding, trying the main track for the first time, dropping down from maiden special weight competition, and getting the blinkers added. So we'll see if any or all of those changes can give him a boost today.
Well, whoever hit the Rainbow 6 yesterday did a fantastic job of handicapping to nail that down. I didn't think there would be that many horses alive in the race. Took it down for $164,000 plus, starting right back again today in the 4th race, 1 mile and 1/16. Turf, fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life or 3-year-olds. Claiming level is $30,000 down to $25,000 level. We'll have 7 runners going into the field. I'll start it off here. I went with the 6, a horse that you did not use on your ticket. I'll tell you why I did. This one is hoping to save something more for the stretch drive. Set the pace last time out, weak and late to finish 4th, but it was a key race. You knew I was going there. $30,000 condition claimers that produced 3 next out winners from 6 starters. So 50% of the horses that came back and run in the next race have won it. Bernardo Lopez can't go wrong. You got Edgar Zayas doling out this horse's speed. That's the reason I went with the numbers 6 horse in here. That is in the 3rd race. That's Who's That Chick?
Yeah, I think getting a little ahead of ourselves. We're on
yeah.
the 3rd. The
All
Rainbow
right.
6 is going to start in the next race,
you
the
know what I
race
did? I
number
flipped
4.
my page
You
and it
flipped the
stuck-
wrong page of your
Yeah,
program.
okay,
That's
that-
not your fault. That's the program's fault,
Right.
Ron.
Third race today. Who's That Chick on top for me?
I put the 4 Enigma on top, who you also used. This is a 3-year-old filly. Ran well from 4 wide to finish 3rd. Only beaten a length and 3/4 in her last start on May 15th. And she was really gaining at the wire. I think she's really going to appreciate the stretch out today. And she was claimed out of that race by trainer Michelle Nevin. She's 28% first off the claim.
Well, a number 1 horse who we both have in second has that Suboisa. Is the only 2-time winner in the field. And this one, now in the Rodolfo Garcia barn, is stretching out to a mile and 16 after drawing away to defeat $16,000 2 lifetime claimers with that strong 5 wide mood. A lot of people ask me all the time, how is this horse eligible when it's non-winners at 2 or 3-year-olds? And that is the key. And it's race number 3. I hope I didn't get you confused. My page, no lie, got stuck.
She's really exploiting the conditions in
Right.
this race. Not only the only 2-time winner, but looking for back-to-back wins. But she didn't run well in her only start at this distance. It might be a touch long for her.
Anybody else on the ticket that you used?
I throw in the 3 Bellina Lady. This is a daughter of English Channel that I thought was just really bred to get the distance and should be fitter in her second start back from a 2-month freshening.
Well, you remember the story I was just telling you about the guy who did a great handicapping job in the Rainbow 6? That story is still true, and he did hit it yesterday for $164,000, or she hit it for $164,000 yesterday. Here is where the Rainbow Six is starting. 1 mile claim is 3 and up, $10,000. 7 runners in the field, no scratches, no jockey changes to report, and our old buddy is in here, and that's the one, Palatine Hill.
He was so impressive last time out. He's going to look for his second straight victory. Took command and drew off by 2 1/4 lengths back on July 1st. Once again, he finds himself in a race that's devoid of much speed. I think he's going to be able to control things again and do just what he did last time.
You know, I put the number 4 Valid Concept in second, but this one does his best running in the latter stages of the race. He's going to try and make it 2 in a row after rallying from last to win last time out at this level and distance. He should get maybe enough pace to make him be okay, but I think Palatine Hill certainly has the upper hand in there. You have him in third. You put the number 2 Chillin' Dillon in second.
I had to give the edge to Chillin' Dillon over Valid Concept just for what you mentioned from a pace scenario. This is another really consistent runner. Finished second behind Palatine Hill last time out. That broke a 2-race win streak for trainer Tamara Levy. He's going to be sitting just off the pace and again might have the jump on Valid Concept, though Valid Concept owns the highest last out buyer of the field.
Yeah, and you know, does Chillin' Dillon, 7-time winner at the distance, and stepped up last time out, but proved he could run with these horses when finishing second to Palatine Hill. So certainly looks like Palatine Hill might be somebody's single in the Rainbow Six, not mine, but Mike could be in there. Has that tactical advantage. Race number 5 this afternoon. 5 furlongs on the turf, maiden special weight, 3-year-olds and upward. We're going to scratch the 13 and the 14 House of Pegasus. I want to go back and show you a performance of the horse that Katie has in second, I have in third, and that's today is the 11 Better Run, Real Fast, and we're going to show you a little trouble in the stretch last time out.
Yeah, he had a little bit of trouble, and you know, he was really game, and I think this cost him the race. He drifts out here and he bumps. You see, get into a little bit of traffic trouble. He's just going to miss the win by a neck. Mind you, had he won, he might have been taken down anyway for causing that bit of interference, but he would have crossed the wire in front, I think, had he stayed the course straight. I thought, you know, this is a horse that can build off of that effort, and he should be happy to return to the turf today. He ran on the main track last time out.
Yeah, the reason I didn't put him on top, if you look at his race before that, on May 22nd, he also drifted out in the stretch. So he's drifted out in the stretch twice, so I was a little shaky about it. But Katie, you went with the number 3 Wildcat is Gold on top of your ticket, but I went with the 7 Never Give In. This is one of 2 horses in the race for Kathleen O'Connell. The other one is we just showed you, the 11 Better Run Real Fast. This one is turning back to 5 furlongs on the turf today with the breeding needed to respond favorably to both the surface switch and this abbreviated distance. Gelded son of Wildcat Air has apprentice Harry Hernandez handling the surface switch today. And you know the old adage about the longer price of the uncoupled entry. I think I'd give it a shot in here today. Got the 11 on the ticket, but the horse you have on top probably is the one to beat in here, and that's the 3 Wildcatters Gold.
Well, I agree with you, Ron. I don't think you can put Better Run Real Fast right on top. Think you should give him some consideration, but I really like the 3 Wildcatters Gold. This is a son of exclusive quality, going to be making his career debut today for trainer Ralph Nix. He was entered a couple of weeks ago, and I remembered we both had him on top, but he ended up scratching, so I'm happy to see him back in today. He's got the most extensive work pattern of this group. 12 published works, including 3 bullets. And you look at the pedigree, the Damn Gold Mix has dropped 3 other foals to race, all multiple winners, including Red Minx, who's stakes placed and actually going to run tomorrow in our Bougainvillea handicap.
So you got some angles there with the number 3 Wildcat is Gold. And as I said, on paper, looks like the one to beat. Another horse that you use in here was the number 6 horse in here, and that's Changing Direction.
Changing Direction, he's making his debut for trainer Gustavo Delgado, son of Arch. I thought he had the pedigree to run well in the turf course.
Well, let's go to race number 6 today. 1 mile. It's an optional claimer, allowance optional claimer. Fillies and mares 3 and up. The claiming level is $62,500. There will be 7 runners in this field, and there is a hard-knocking stakes-placed horse in here that we want to show you its last performance, and that's the 6th today. Best behavior. Last time it was number 2.
She runs her race every time. I really have a lot of respect for this horse. She is just so game, and this is her last time out. Who is she running with? That's Little Alexis, who is grade 1 stakes place. Best behavior down on the rail. Little Alexis on the outside. What a finish, a duel to the wire, and Little Alexis is just going to get the edge here. And best behavior, she is the class of the field in her own right today. Not going to have to deal with the likes of Little Alexis.
Well, I'm going to play a little bit of a devil's advocate here. The only problem I had, and I mean, this horse is absolutely the one to beat. Got it right on top of my ticket. No wins this year. 6 starts, 3 seconds and a third, but I think you're absolutely right. The class of the field in here. Horse that I have in second is Sunset Silhouette. Katie has that horse in third. This one's stretching out to a mile. Rallied to finish second last time out against $62,500 optional claimers going 3/4 of a mile. Larry Pilati, Eddie Castro handling the stretch out from that inside post position there. Inside post when we're going a mile here has the slightly better advantage, and I just thought this was a logical horse to try and bring back best behavior. As you mentioned, she is absolute class in the field.
Yeah, class she is. If you take out the 2 grade 2 races that she ran in here over the championship meet when she didn't hit the board, she's hit the board in 6 straight stakes races. I just think that's so impressive.
Yeah, and you know, the other horse that you do have in second, that's Elusive Harmony. This one loves this track. She's got 12 starts with 5 wins.
Yeah, she does, and she's looking for a 3rd straight. She's won her last 2 by a combined 11.25 lengths. And check out her record at this distance, 7 for 8 at a mile. But best behavior going to be the toughest competition she's ever faced. Her win-2 back came in a $12,500 claimer.
Yeah, she's stepping up there today. They're going to have to beat best behavior in that 6th race of the afternoon. Race number 7 today. 1 mile on the turf. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 races in life or a race since my birthday, actually, January 17th. $30,000 down to $25,000. Scratch the 11 and the 12. And note there's a jockey change on the number 2 Fastidious Son. Make the rider Diego Gomez in there. And we want to go back and show you. Talking about hard-knocking campaigners, which seems to be the theme today. What about Eduardito?
Not only is this horse a hard-knocking campaigner, but he's so versatile. And this is what I wanted to highlight last time out. This horse is normally sitting just off the pace, but he was pretty far back last time out. He's going to uncharacteristically come from off the pace, and he's going to do it well. Here he is drifting out. He gets into the center of the racetrack, makes a late bid. He's about 5 wide there, and he's going to get up for 3rd, only beaten a length and 3/4. I think he can adjust to whatever type of pace that develops here. Love the way he closes there, really striding out nicely late, and I had to put him on top, especially with his record at this distance, a win and a 3rd in his only 2 starts.
And he loves this turf course. He's had 5 races with 2 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. Came from last in that race that we just showed you, which was not his normal running style. But I did go with the horse that Katie has in second on top of my ticket, and that is the 7 One More Cat. Going to try these condition claimers after encountering trouble through the stretch. You read its last trouble line, was brushed repeatedly in the stretch run, finished second, was the tepid favorite last time out, but it was against open competition at the $20,000 level, dropping into these condition claimers, non-winners of 3 races or a race in 6 months. I just thought number 7, One More Cat, had a really nice spot in here, but you can't leave Eduardito off the ticket.
I love One More Cat except for one thing. He's 0 for 10 at the distance. That was the nail biter for me, but he did have trouble last time, and I think this is a great spot for him. We also both used the 3, and that's Symphony 41.
Yeah, he's a bit of a guess, isn't he? I mean, he hasn't run in a long time.
Yeah, he hasn't, but the numbers suggest that he's the best horse in the race. He might need a race, but he is, returning from more than a 15-month layoff for trainer David Fox. The last time we saw him last April, scored an 86 buyer when finishing second, only beaten ahead in a $35,000 optional claimer.
Yeah, and David Fox about 70% with horses coming back from a graded and 180-day layoff. I was a little surprised to see him on the ticket as second choice in there, 3rd choice. I thought, top choice. Actually, I'm looking down at the morning line. I think that, a couple other horses with the recency had to be on top, thus putting it in 3rd, but we'll see how that race plays out. 15 months is a pretty long time off, but if anybody can do it, it's David Fox.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He's been doing really well with these types, and the horse is training well. We'll see if he needs a race or not.
Well, let's go to race number 8. It's 1 mile. It's a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds and up with maiden special weight conditions. We do have a scratch in here of number 8, Meddlesome, and we want to go back and show you a performance of a horse that's been knocking heads with some of the better 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds in the country in previous races.
Yes, he has been, and especially the last horse that he ran against. This is Saraguaro that we're talking about. He's returning from a 5-month layoff today, and this is the last time we saw him during the championship meet. You see a little bit green drifting out there, hasn't switched leads yet. Take a look at the horse that's winning this race. This is Danzig Moon. He would go on to finish 5th in the Kentucky Derby and place 2nd in the Grade 1 Bluegrass. Rest his soul, and unfortunately he passed away a little while ago.
Right.
Very tragic, but what a nice horse that was. And you've mentioned Saraguaro ran with him. Who else has he run with them in the starts that he's made? The start prior, he finished behind Made from Lucky, who would go on to win the Grade 2 Peter Pan. Before that, it was Juan Mbina, who was just 3rd in the Grade 3 Carryback. Then it was Sings Praises. He's a 3-time stakes winner. And finally, Bluegrass Singer, who's graded stakes place and a 2-time stakes winner. Nothing like that here. We'll see how he comes back.
You got to see how he comes back. And number 7, Unbridled Hero. We mentioned the scratch of the 8 in here, Meddlesome, and that was one of the 2 horses entered in the race by trainer Ralph Nix. And this one is a $25,000 son of Unbridled Song, making his first starts and getting beat double-digit lengths. It was a pair of maiden special weight races, but those were both contested on wet tracks. It was up in New York. It was way back in 2014. What I like about this horse, he's been working well for the return, and he's got a touch of class. And both horses here that we have on 1st and 2nd have to prove that they're ready to run coming back. But I think they're logical too.
I completely agree. We're in a complete agreement here in this race. Unbridled Hero, what a purchase price there, and you hit the nail on the head. This is going to be his first time that he's actually ever gotten to run on a fast main track. So that could be the difference maker. And
I also had the 8 horse on my ticket. I actually had it in 2nd, Meddlesome. So I scratched it into the 5 high quality prints, stretching out to its best distance. 2 races at the distance, 2 second place finishes after getting parked 5 wide on the turn last time out. And that was against a solid group of maiden special weight runners. And I think with the scratch of the 8, he looks like a logical contender maybe to close out the try, a super or something like that.
He's only run a mile twice, and they've unquestionably been his best races, finished 2nd in both. But man, Ron, you're scaring me. Talk about complete agreement. I not only also had Meddlesome on my ticket, but he was 2nd, and then I changed the race and was still in complete agreement with you.
See that? I couldn't trick her, even though I changed my selection in there after the scratch. Let's go to the 9th and final race on Friday's card. Remember, we had the Super High 5. They nailed it yesterday. They nailed everything yesterday. That's why we had no carryovers today. Great handicapping by everyone involved, especially the ones with those winning tickets. This one is 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Fillies and mares 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life. Scratch the 13, 14, 15, and 16. And note the jockey change on number 11. Make the rider Jonathan Gonzalez. Katie and I, a little disagreement in here. I went with the 8, Rowana Daytona, dropping a notch, returning to the turf after rallying to come within the neck of defeating $12,500 condition claimers. That was going 7 furlongs on a sealed, sloppy track. Just thought it was a good enough performance. I find this race very wide open, and I wouldn't be surprised if the 9, Rosa Graciela, won it.
Yeah, I love that selection with Rowana Daytona. It's been a while since she's been on the grass, but she's been running pretty consistently. I thought about putting her on top. I'm glad you did. I gave the edge to Rose Graciela from the Antonio Sano barn. Gonna look for back-to-back wins today. Broke her maiden in her 11th career start last time out. She definitely seems to be figuring things out. She's actually hit the board in 5 straight races, and I thought she was well spotted to face winners the first time.
Well, number 2, Stack the Crown, is going back to what appears to be her preferred surface. She failed to fire last time out, went 6 behind Rowana Daytona. That was that race, moved to the sloppy main track. And as we mentioned a lot here, when races are set at 7.5 furlongs, when they go to the main track, they're set at 7 furlongs on the sloppy main track. So it not only becomes a different surface, it's a different distance. It becomes a sprint race. So Stack the Crown, trainer Sandra Colati, Prentice Harry and Anders handling the surface switch today.
Yeah, I think another one with a shot in here, and this is a wide open race, but Ron and I gave you the top 3 horses, different order, but top 3 to give you a head start there on your Super High 5 ticket.
Well, that is the way we see the Friday card. 9 races once again, with the new Rainbow Six starting in race number 4 today. I got that right this time here.
You got it right from the beginning. You just got a little ahead. That's all. Excited.
I was so excited, you know what I mean, that I got a little ahead. It's going to be a fun day of racing, but tomorrow, If you get a chance and you're here today, track, or you're out there in simulcast land, pick up a racing form or a program and wait till you see these fields tomorrow. They are gigantic. It is going to be one fun day of wagering tomorrow. As we mentioned, we got those two-year-old races with the horses running without Lasix. Huge fields.
Huge fields and some very nice, promising runners. Always, I think, the most exciting races that we have, that racing has anywhere with these unproven 2-year-olds.
And we have a stake tomorrow, 5 furlongs on the grass for the ladies.
Yes, the Bougainvillea Handicap. As a daughter of a landscaper, I love that race name.
Great. We used to have a race named across town at Hialeah that years and years ago, so we're picking up that name here. So it'll be a fun day of racing today. Absolutely fun day of racing tomorrow. And on Sunday, we're going to have those 2-year-olds with no Lasix again. So what a weekend to be at Gulfstream Park.
Absolutely. TGIF. Good luck today, everyone.